Hi mothers, it's been a while and I'm so happy to be back here after a long pause. What were you thinking? That I ran away or I disappeared? Never. We die here. Anyway, that's on a lighter mood. When you get to hospital, usually when you want to register for your antenatal the first time, and the nurses, the doctors and midwives subject you into running some laboratory investigations. How does that make you feel? Do you feel sometimes that they are being unnecessarily too much? Do you think they are overdoing things? Do you think they are being bothered unnecessarily? Or do you feel that they are trying to extort money? What if I told you that it's actually beneficial, is really for your own good? What am I saying? It's actually for your own good. It's all for your own benefit. In this video, I'm going to tell you the benefits of some of the tests they ask you to run, and also bring to your awareness the most important tests to run, the first series of antenatal screenings that you should look out for. And if you're not asked to do them, you should ask your midwife or your gynecologist about them. Stay tuned in this video, watch to the very end so that you don't miss out on anything or any of the points I'm going to mention here. But for now, please go and subscribe. Once you step into the hospital, the first thing they do to you is do your sets of observations, your vital signs. They check your temperature, they check your pulse, they check your respiration and your blood pressure. They can also take your weight and your height. This is going to form a baseline for whatever is going to happen subsequently. And if you're weighing, let's say you're weighing 80 kg, and the first day you got to register for antenatal, whenever your weight changes, whether it's decreasing or increasing, they're gonna run it a check with the first weight that was taken on the day you came to the hospital. The same with all other vital signs they're going to take on you. That's the first thing they're going to do. And please insist that these sets of vital signs are taken every single time you get to the hospital, especially your blood pressure. And I'm going to tell you the reason your blood pressure is very important. For a pregnant woman, there are cases where your blood pressure would tell your midwife or your doctor what is actually going wrong or going right with you and your baby. So that is not supposed to be missed out for any reason. So these are the first routine sets of observation to be taken on you. And the next is to run series of blood work on you, do some take your blood to do series of tests. So the first thing to look at for is your full blood count. So just like the name goes, full blood count, they have to run a series of investigation with your blood, check your packed cell volume, the blood level volume, your hemoglobin level, and also check your blood group and your genotype. And as well, do your rhesus factor. These are very important, and I'll tell you why. You know, as you're pregnant, you are no longer alone, just yourself. You are doing, your organs are functioning for two people now. So your blood is the major messenger to your baby, transport both oxygens and nutrients to your baby via the placenta. And if your blood level is very low, it's not going to affect the baby that much. All the effect is going to have is going to be on you, the mother, because at this point the baby is going to be really selfish. The baby will take as much blood the baby needs from you, as much oxygen the baby needs from you, as much nutrients the baby needs from you to survive. Your shortage of blood will affect you deeply, because your baby will first take what he or she will need, and the remnant is left for you. So, and if you're not healthy enough, it's also going to affect the baby, because if anything happens to you, the baby is not going to survive unless immediate action is taken when the baby gets to term. So you have to be on a watch on your blood level, and if anything goes wrong, if your blood level is decreasing, because you have done your blood group, they have carried a test on you and found out what blood group you belong to. It can also help them to know the type of blood to transfuse in the case of low shortage of blood in you. So you see, you have to get your blood tested, a full blood count, to know your blood level and to know your genotype. Another thing you have to be on a lookout for is your rhesus factor. I'm going to make a separate video in detail of the rhesus factor. If a mother is rhesus factor positive, it's not much of a concern, but if she is rhesus factor negative, that's where we have lots of problem, because in your second pregnancy, if we are not careful with what we do in the first one, it's going to affect the second pregnancy, and it may actually result to the baby dying. So it's really important that we found out if you are rhesus negative or rhesus factor positive. If you are negative, it will help the medical team to get ready for when you are going to deliver and give you the necessary medication required, so that in your subsequent pregnancies there will not be histories or stories to be told to you and your family members. And that's it. So you have to get full blood count, you have to get blood group, you have to get your rhesus factor checked, and that's it for the blood work. You also have to look out for infectious diseases. You have to do series of investigations for infectious diseases like hepatitis B, like HIV, like syphilis, like gonorrhea. Some of these disease conditions can pass the placenta barrier and get your baby infected. So you have to be on the lookout on time. So if it is discovered that you have hepatitis B or you have HIV, so it will keep the medical team at alert and get them ready and prepared on the necessary medical intervention. The necessary medical intervention to give to you while you are still pregnant, or during delivery, or after you have delivered your baby. So some of these conditions are capable of making your baby deformed. Let's take for instance gonorrhea. It has a tendency of making your baby go blind at birth if the midwife doesn't know that you have gonorrhea and take necessary precaution during childbirth. And also it will help you to help the medical team to make a decision on the best delivery method for you. Having said that, you have to do the full blood count, your rhesus factor, your genotype, your hemoglobin level. You also have to do blood work for infectious diseases, like I just mentioned. And if you tested positive to any of these disease conditions, you don't have to be afraid or worried so much, because the medical team has it under control. There are medications that they can offer you to help both you and your baby. Let's take hepatitis B for an instance. After childbirth, your baby is going to get an immunoglobulin injection to help prevent the baby from testing positive to hepatitis B or ever contacting hepatitis B from you if the baby didn't get it while still in the womb. It's also helped them to make decisions, especially for HIV positive mothers, on your breastfeeding aspect. They make a decision with you and your family if you want to breastfeed, because you either breastfeed the baby or you give complementary or supplementary feeding. So this is a decision that will, or discussion that you will have with the medical team and your family members only when you discover that you have these conditions. Now, if you don't take part in these laboratory investigations and series of antenatal screenings, there's no way you have this discovery, and there's no way you have the discussion, and lots of things may go wrong at the end of the day. So you see, it's very, very important that you partake in the series of antenatal screenings. And that's it. With this, you can decide to, after you have done this basic fundamental antenatal screenings, you can decide to take it up to the next level. You can decide to go for hemoglobinopathies to discover about sickle cell and diseases and thalassemia diseases. These are some of the serious blood disorders that children can inherit from their parents who has altered or disordered hemoglobin genes. And hemoglobins are in the red blood cells and responsible for carrying oxygen around the body. I leave it to your imagination of what will happen if what is responsible for carrying oxygen around your body is altered or faulty. Right? Some of the people living with sickle cell diseases or thalassemias oftentimes require constant blood transfusions regularly. And this is not what you have to leave to chance. You may as well wish to get tested to see what's going on. Don't ever leave it to chance. Another observation I will actually require that you pay attention to is your blood sugar, because sometimes pregnancy can induce diabetes, and this is what we call the gestational diabetes, which is really a serious condition during pregnancy and can be quite deadly if it's not taken care of. So you need your blood sugar tested at least every month to know your status, if your blood sugar is within range, and if not, necessary intervention to be done immediately. Now, if you want to take it a little further up, you can decide, especially for people who has some syndromes in their family lineage, like Down syndromes, you can decide to go a bit further to doing other investigations like amniocentesis. This type of investigation is the one that the gynecologist will have to get a sample from your amniotic fluid. This is the fluid that actually cushions your baby, where your baby swims in. I've already mentioned this severally in some of my old videos. I may look for any of the videos that has it and link it in the comment section, in the description box, so that you go look for what amniotic fluid is all about. So they can take a sample from there and run various tests and discover if your baby is having either Down syndrome, Edwards syndrome, or Paton syndrome, any one of it, or any of other chromosomal deformities. So you can also decide to do chronic villus sampling, at least from 11 weeks. You can do this, and that's it. You can also do series of ultrasound scan to discover how your baby is positioned in your womb, if the amniotic fluid is enough for the baby. Other tests that you can do later when your pregnancy has advanced, you can do a pelvimetry test to find out if your pelvis, your pelvic bone, is adequate for you to push out your baby, because sometimes some women do not have the actual pelvis, which is the gynecoid pelvis, for pushing out the baby. Some of them have pelvis such as that of a man, but I'm going to make that video in a separate video to elaborate it more. So these are the various, not all, but I feel that the ones I've mentioned here are quite important. You have to be on a lookout for it. You have to do your blood count, you've got to do your blood group, you've got to know your rhesus status, and of course you have to do series of tests for infectious diseases like syphilis, like HIV, like gonorrhea, like hepatitis B, and loads of other ones. A series of observations, your vital signs, blood sugar, your blood pressure, your oxygen saturation level, your weight, your height. All these things are supposed to be done and documented in your files. And if for any reason any of this is not done, please, you have to speak to your gynecologist or your midwife and find out why this has not been done, and actually ask for it to be done. And I hope this video is very helpful to you. Please watch and share to all the pregnant women, to all their platforms, even to potential mothers. There are so many single ladies that are looking forward to getting married and having their own children. Share this video to all of them, and subscribe, please. I'm in dire need of your subscription, and like as well, because your like will go a long way to show to YouTube that this video is needed and liked by people, and so they have to show it to much more people. Please also leave your comment in the comment section to say to me what you feel about the video or any contribution that you have, and if it's actually right and backed up scientifically, we'll also say something about it in the comment section so that everybody can learn together. So what have you done? What test have you carried out? What test was done on you while you were pregnant, or now that you're still pregnant? Please leave it in the comment section and I'll look at it, and if I have a comment to drop, I'll also drop it there. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. For now, stay with my love. Bye.